For more than 72 years, France was ruled by a single man, a man who believed he was chosen by God, a man who reshaped a kingdom, and a man who declared, "L'État, c'est moi, I am the state." This is the story of Louis XIV, the Sun King, a story of power, fear, splendor, war, and ambition, of a boy who became king too early, a ruler who demanded obedience, and a monarch who turned himself into a living symbol of France. Welcome to the extraordinary world of Louis XIV. On September 5th, 1638, bells rang across France. After 23 years of a childless marriage, King Louis XIII and Queen Anne of Austria finally welcomed their son, Louis XIV, literally meaning Louis the God-given. His birth wasn't just joyful, it was political salvation. France had feared a succession crisis. Now, a tiny baby carried the hopes of a nation, but destiny rushed too quickly. When Louis was just 4 years old, his father died. The little boy became King Louis XIV of France. Too young to read, too young to speak in court, too young even to understand what a kingdom was. His mother, Anne, ruled in his name, guided by Cardinal Mazarin, but behind the palace walls, danger brewed. Louis's childhood was violently shaken by a civil uprising known as the Fronde. Nobles rebelled against the crown's authority. Crowds stormed Paris. Royal palaces were invaded. And at night, King Louis XIV could hear angry mobs outside his bedroom. One night, a mob burst into his chamber. Louis pretended to sleep, terrified as men surrounded his bed, their torches lighting the room. This moment etched itself deep into his soul. He learned two things he would never forget. Nobles could not be trusted. A king must be obeyed. Absolutely. The Fronde shaped Louis XIV more than any tutor ever could. It made him reject the chaos of shared power. It forged the future absolute monarch within him. Mazarin ruled as chief minister until his death in 1661. Courtiers waited to see who will replace him. A new powerful minister, a cardinal, a noble, a general. Louis XIV's announcement shocked them all. I will rule. Not rule with anyone, not rule through someone, but rule alone. This decision changed France forever. Louis XIV woke early every morning. He signed his own papers. He led his own councils. He read every decision. He asked questions relentlessly. He micromanaged his entire kingdom. He believed his kings received authority directly from God, and that meant no minister should ever stand between God and the king. Thus was born the reign of the absolute monarch. Louis XIV carefully crafted an image, not just a king, but a cosmic symbol. He chose the sun as his emblem. Why the sun? Because the sun gives life. The sun commands the day. The sun stands at the center of everything, just as he wished to stand at the center of France. The message was clear. France should revolve around the king. Louis didn't simply rule. He performed kingship. He turned daily life into ritual. The levee, the morning ceremony where nobles competed just to hand him his shirt. The coucher, the nightly ritual where the chosen few watched him go to bed. Meals in public, walks in public, even prayers in public. Every moment was spectacle. Every moment was political. Louis made himself the sun, and the nobles, they became planets orbiting him. Nothing represents Louis XIV better than Versailles. At first, it was only a modest hunting lodge. Louis transformed it into the most magnificent palace in Europe, a palace of marble, fountains, mirrors, and gold. Versailles wasn't just beautiful, it was a political weapon. Louis forced nobles to live there. He surrounded them with luxury. He distracted them with court life, endless ceremonies, glamorous parties, and expensive fashion. At Versailles, nobles lost power and became dependent on the king. And Louis XIV, he watched everything. Who approached him? Who spoke? Who bowed? Who whispered? Who flirted? Nothing escaped his notice. Versailles was a stage, and he was its shining star. Louis XIV lived a life of extraordinary discipline, extravagance, and ritual. His day was structured down to the minute. He woke at 7:30, received officials, held councils, performed ceremonies, hunted, reviewed troops, and danced. Yes, he was a skilled dancer, performing his ballet until he was in his 30s. He once danced as the son in a ballet. This performance helped inspire his famous title. Louis loved fashion. He set trends across Europe. His magnificent wigs, his high heels, his embroidered coat, all projected dominance, elegance, and royal glory. Meals were grand spectacles. He had enormous feasts with dozens of dishes served before an audience of nobles. He was intelligent, hardworking, proud, theatrical, and sometimes ruthless. His court followed the king's mood, like flowers followed sunlight. Louis XIV modernized France profoundly. He created a professional standing army, disciplined, uniformed, loyal to the crown. With Finance Minister Jean-Baptiste Colbert, he boosted industry, trade, infrastructure, the navy. France became the richest kingdom in Europe. Louis supported Molière, Racine, Lully, Lebrun, Lenotre. French art, fashion, language, and architecture became the envy of the world. He expanded borders through wars, though expensive and sometimes destructive. He made France the most powerful state in Europe. But glory has a price. Louis' wars drained the treasury, heavy taxes burdened the poor. Famine struck. The revocation of the Edict of Nantes expelled Protestants, hurting France's economy and reputation. His grandeur had a shadow. Yet, Louis believed the suffering was justified for the greatness of France. He saw himself as a shepherd guiding his people, even when the path was hard. In 1715, after ruling for 72 years, Louis XIV died. He had outlived his son, grandson, and great-grandson. He left the throne to his 5-year-old great-great-grandson, the future Louis XV. Before dying, he said, "I loved war too much, but do not imitate me. Try to ease the suffering of the people." And so the sun set. But his legacy did not. Louis XIV reshaped France, Europe, and the very idea of monarchy. To this day, Versailles stands as a glittering reminder of a king who made himself the center of a nation and a king who became the sun.